Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021. Today I'm going to recap last night's NBA playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs, Major League Baseball, and WNBA games, look ahead to everything going on tonight. I'll look back on yesterday's French Open matches and look ahead to today's matches. I'll go over the latest news and notes and my best bet of the day. We're going to start the NBA playoffs on today's show. We will go over the results, and we will look ahead to everything going on tonight. Nets over the Celtics 123-109 as the Nets win the series in 5 games. James Harden, 34 points, 10 boards, 10 assists. Jason Tatum, 32, 9, and 5 for Boston. Nuggets over the Trailblazers 147-140 in double overtime to take a 3-2 series lead. Nikola Jokic, 38 points and 9 assists for Denver. Damian Lillard, though, 55 points, 10 assists for Portland. And 2 very, very clutch threes, not just the first overtime, but double overtime as well. Suns absolutely demolished the Lakers, 115-85 to take a 3-2 series lead. No Anthony Davis in this one. Devin Booker, 30 points and 7 boards. LeBron James had 24 points and 7 assists for the Lakers. All right, 4 games tonight, 7 o'clock NBA TV. You have the Wizards and the 76ers. Philly can close out the series here with a win. I picked Philly in 5. Brooklyn in 5 came out for me yesterday. My projections for this game: Philly 15 total, 228.5. Meanwhile, it's 6.5 and 230. I'm going to lay the 6.5 at Philly at minus 104. But the status of Joel Embiid is obviously very important, because if he doesn't play, that changes a lot of things. And obviously, it really does change the outlook of this game. And right now he's questionable. Let's say he plays. And I think if he plays, they wouldn't go away. And obviously he's worth a lot to the spread. So I'm going to lay the 6.5 with Philadelphia. 7:30 of the Hawks and the Knicks, Game 5. My projections, Knicks by a half, total 217.5. Meanwhile, it's Knicks 1.5, total 208.5. I have no choice but to take the over. I missed the over by a half point on Sunday with the predictions. So I'm going to go over 208.5 in that one. 9:30 NBA TV, the Grizzlies and the Jazz. The Jazz has a chance to close out as well as the Hawks and the Sixers. My projections, Utah 13.5, total 225. Meanwhile, it is 9.5 and 225.5. I'm going to lay to 9.5. And then Dallas and the Clippers, I'm at Clippers 5.5, total 222. Meanwhile, it's 7 and 217.5. I'm going to take the over. I think that this is going to be a higher scoring game. I think Doncic will go off. I think Kawhi will go off. So I'm going to go over 217.5 for my pick for that game. Alrighty, now we'll move on to the Stanley Cup playoffs, as we will go over the results. A result from last night. Look ahead to the 2 games tonight. Lightning over the Hurricanes 2-1 to take a 2-0 series lead. The number 3 started game with the goal Andrei Svechnikov. Number 2 started game with the goal Anthony Cirelli. And the number 1 started the game with 31 saves on 32 shots, Andrei Vasilevsky. Alex Killorn got the scoring going in the second period his 5th of the postseason, assisted by Steven Stamkos, 1-0 Tampa. Third period, Anthony Cirelli, his 3rd of the postseason, 8 minutes into the 3rd period, assisted by Victor Hedman and Eric Cernak to give the Bulls a 2-0 lead. And Andrei Svechnikov with the minute and a half left, his 2nd of the postseason, assisted by Jordan Staal and Teuvo Teravainen to make it a 2-1 game, but Tampa holds on. All right. 2 games tonight, 7:30 NBCSN North, 2nd round, Game 1. The Canadiens and the Jets. I've yet to make a pick for the series. Obviously, a great series win for Montreal. And Winnipeg had the sweep of Edmonton, but you can make a case that Edmonton should have won 2 or 3 of those games. So to me, that wasn't a convincing series win. Although, on the flip side, you could argue Toronto should have closed down Montreal in 6. That game at the OT. But anyway, it just feels like that there's some vibe going with the Canadiens that they will go on some magical run. And like I said, Winnipeg looked awesome in round 1 at times. But I think the difference here is Carey Price. He's healthy. I doubted Carey Price's health in the first round. That's why I picked Toronto to sweep. But I'm going to go Canadiens in 6 just to be a little different here to go with an upset. So I'm going to go with the Canadiens in 6 over Winnipeg. And I'm going to take Winnipeg, though, to win Game 1 only because I think that there is going to be a little bit of a letdown here from Montreal after the win. So I'm going to go Winnipeg plus 110 in regulation to beat Montreal in Game 1. Then 10 o'clock on NBCSN, you have the Golden Knights and the Avalanche. Game 2. Colorado's minus 205. Vegas is plus 172. Over under 5.5. Over's minus 114. Under's minus 106. Vegas plus 1.5 is minus 160. Colorado minus 1.5 is plus 132. I'm going to take Vegas as the road dog at plus 172. I took Vegas in 7 in the series. I'm going to stick with that pick for now, and I'm going to take Vegas to pull the Game 2 upset off against Colorado. I think they'll go with Marc-Andre Fleury. And let's hope that him getting rested in Game 1 doesn't hurt his confidence. So let's go Vegas plus 172 as the road underdog. All right, now we'll move on to Major League Baseball. We will go over the results from last night, and we will look ahead to today. Indians over the White Sox 6-5. Indians are 30-24. Chicago 33-22. Shane Bieber to win. Dylan Cease loss, and James Karinchak the save. Yankees over the Rays 5-3-11 on a walk-off homer by Clint Frazier to end the 4-game losing streak. Yankees are 30-25. Tampa 35-21. Luis Sessa the win, and Andrew Kitteridge the loss. Orioles over the Twins 7-4. Orioles 18-37. Minnesota 22-32. Bruce Zimmerman the win. Michael Pineda the loss, and Cole Sulser the save. Blue Jays over the Marlins 5-1. The Blue Jays are 28-25. Miami 24-29. Robbie Ray the win, and Sandy Alcantara the loss. Phillies over the Reds 17-3. Phillies 26-29. Cincinnati 24-29. 7 homers for Philadelphia. Aaron Nola the win. Sonny Gray the loss. Nationals over the Braves 11-6. Washington 22-29. Atlanta 25-27. Austin Voth the win. Max Fried the loss. Tigers over the Braves 10-7. Detroit 23-32. Milwaukee 29-26. Derek Holland the win, and Eric Lauer the loss. Cubs over the Padres 4-3. San Diego, it drops to 34-22. Chicago 31-23. The Cubs are playing great right now. Kyle Hendricks the win, Ryan Weathers the loss, and Craig Kimbrell gets his 13th save of the season. Astros over the Red Sox 5-1. Houston 30-24. Boston 32-22. Luis Garcia the win, Garrett Richards the loss. Royals over the Pirates 10-5. KC 27-26, Pittsburgh 20-34. Brady Singer to win, Will Crowe the loss. Rockies over the Rangers 3-2 in 11 on a walk-off walk by Brendan Rodgers. Colorado 21-34, Texas 22-34. Michael Givens the win, and Ben Martin the loss. Diamondbacks over the Mets 6-5 in 10 innings on a walk-off 2-run double by Josh Reddick. Arizona's 20-36, Mets 26-21. Angels over the Giants 8-1. The Angels are 25-30. San Francisco 34-21. Andrew Heaney the win, Alex Wood the loss. A's over the Mariners 12-6. The A's are 32-25. Seattle 28-28. Jesus Luzardo the win, and Paul Sewell the loss. Paul Sewell gets charged the loss. Cardinals over the Dodgers 3-2. The Cardinals are 31-24. Dodgers 32-23. Giovanni Gallegos the win. Blake Treinen the loss, and Alex Reyes gets the 16th save of the year as the Cardinals go ahead in the 9th inning on a go-ahead single by Edmundo Sosa. All right, today's games. Not many. 12:30 of the Phillies and the Reds. Spencer Howard and Vladimir Gutierrez. The favorite in this game is the Phillies at -112. The Reds are -104. Over under 8, -110 each way. Phillies -1/2 is +150. Reds +1/2 is -184. I'm going to go with the Reds as the home dog. 1 o'clock, the Indians hosting the White Sox. Lance Lynn and Juan Carlos Mejia. No lineup for this game, amazingly enough. I'm thinking about the Indians as a home dog. White Sox are -172, so you would think the Indians are like +150. I'm going to consider taking them as a big dog here at home against the White Sox. 2:20, the Padres and the Cubs. Danielson, Lamet, and Adberto Zole. So Lamet's actually starting now for them, which is good. He's not an opener anymore. I guess they just did that to build him up. The Padres are -106. The Cubs are -110. Cubs are playing well right now. I like the Padres here to bounce back from their 3-game losing streak. So -106 for San Diego. 3:30 Mets Diamondbacks. David Peterson and Madison Bumgarner. Each team's -108. Over under 8. Overs -118. Unders -104. Mets -1/2 is +150. D-backs +1/2 is -182. Madison Bumgarner was pitching well at times. He had that hot run. I think that he pitches well here and they beat the Mets. So -108 with the Diamondbacks. I don't trust David Peterson. 7 o'clock, you have the Twins and the Orioles from Camden Yards. Randy Dobnak and Matt Harvey. Twins are -154. The Orioles are +130. Over under 9.5. Overs -114. Unders -106. Twins -1/2 is +102. Orioles +1/2 is -122. I'm going over 9.5 at -114. Rays, Yankees. Shane McClanahan and Jordan Montgomery. Yankees are -130. Rays +110. Over under 8. Overs -118. Unders -104. Rays +1/2 is -192. Yankees -1/2 is +158. I'm going under 8 at -104. Marlins, Blue Jays. Pablo Lopez and Alek Manoah. Blue Jays are ridiculous, -164. Marlins +138. Over under 8. Overs -114. Unders -106. Miami +1/2 is -156. Blue Jays -1/2 is +130. Manoah was fantastic in his first start. Pablo Lopez has been good this year, even though he gets no run support. I'm taking the Marlins +138. Letdown start for Alek Manoah after the great start he had against the Yankees. 7:20 Nationals Braves. John Lester and Drew Smyly. Braves are minus 158. The Nats are plus 134. Over under 10. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Nats plus 1/2 is minus 144. Braves minus 1/2 is plus 120. I'm going over 10 at minus 105. 8 o'clock ESPN. Red Sox Astros, a deserving game for ESPN tonight. Nick Pivetta and Framber Valdez. He's coming off the injury. Astros are minus 162. Red Sox plus 136. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Red Sox plus 1/2 is minus 156. Astros minus 1/2 is plus 130. Nick Pivetta reminds me of Rick Porcello from a couple of years ago, where he was just awesome from a record standpoint, but from an ERA standpoint, not special. So I'm going to go with... let's go with the Red Sox as the dog here, plus 134 at the Astros to avoid the sweep. 8:30 Rangers Rockies. Jordan Lyles and Antonio Senzatella. Rockies minus 112. Rangers minus 104. Over under 11. Overs minus 108. Unders minus 112. Rangers minus 1/2 is plus 152. Rockies plus 1/2 is minus 184. I'm going over 11 at minus 108. I know that's high, but these two pitchers stink. 9 o'clock Cardinals Dodgers. This should be ESPN as well, but a 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock doubleheader would have been really good. Walker Buehler and Carlos Martinez. Dodgers minus 245. Cardinals are 2-1. Over under 8. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Cardinals plus 1/2 and Dodgers minus 1/2 are each minus 110. Carlos Martinez has been solid so far this year. But for this one, I'm going to go... I don't feel good about it, but under 8 at minus 108. I think Buehler will be really good. And 10 o'clock, you have the A's and the Mariners. Sean Manaea and Chris Flexen. Oakland's minus 144. Seattle's plus 122. Over under 8. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. A's minus 1/2 is plus 118. Mariners plus 1/2 is minus 142. I'm going to go over 8 at minus 112 for the pick for this game. Now I'm going to do WNBA. I'm going to go over the games from last night and look ahead to everything going on. Oh, no, never mind. No games tonight. It's just last night's game. Sun over the Aces, 74-67. The Sun are 7-2. Las Vegas, 5-3. Jonquel Jones, 23 points, lead the way for Connecticut. Liz Cambage, 28-7 boards for Las Vegas. Wings over the Sparks, 79-59 or 79-69. Dallas 2-4. LA 2-3. Tyasha Harris, 18 points for Dallas. Christy Tolliver had 14 for LA. Mercury over the Sky, 84-83. Mercury 4-3. Chicago 2-5. Skylar Diggins-Smith, 24 points for Phoenix. And Diamond DeShields, 26 points for Chicago. Storm over the Fever, 88-73. The Storm 6-1. Indiana 1-8. Brianna Stewart, 28 points. And Tiara McCowan had 12 and 14 boards for Indiana. Alrighty, now I'm going to do French Open. And I'll go over the results from each side, the men's and the women's. And look ahead to the second round matches going on today. We'll start with the men's. And we'll go over the first round from yesterday first. One-seeded Novak Djokovic over Tennis Sandgren in 3 sets. Pablo Cuevas over Lucas Pouille in 3 sets. Kwon Soon Woo over Kevin Anderson in 4 sets. 9-seeded Matteo Berrettini over Taro Daniel in 4 sets. Richard Gaskin over Hugo Gaston in 3 sets. Federico Coria over Feliciano Lopez in 3 sets. 10-seeded Diego Schwartzman over Liu Yin Soon in 3 sets. 3-seeded Rafael Nadal over Alexei Popyrin in 3 sets. Philip Kohlschreiber over Fernando Verdasco in 4 sets. Facundo Bongas over Benjamin Bonzi in 3 sets. Andrea Seppi upsets 20-seeded Felix Auger Alisame in 4 sets. 14-seeded Gael Monfils over Albert Ramos Vinolas in 4 sets. Jan-Leonard Struff over 7-seeded Andrei Rublev in 5 sets. Elijah Bedin over Adrian Marino in 4 sets. James Duckworth over Salvador Caruso in 4 sets. 24-seeded Aslan Karastev over Jensen Brooksby in 3 sets. Marco Chinato over Yasutaka Uchima in 4 sets. Mikel Ymer over Roberto Carbelas Baena in 5 sets. 21-seeded Alex Demeanor over Stefano Travaglia in 3 sets. And Ricardus Berncase over Hugo Humbert in 4 sets. Right, finals so far from the second round. One that got correct. Alexander Zverev over Roman Safolin in 3 sets. Going on right now, 23-seeded Karen Kaknavov and Kei Nishiorki. Let's say Kaknavov in 3 for that one. Alejandro Davidovic Fokina and Bojik van de Zandschulp. I'm going to say Davidovic Fokina in 5. 11-seeded Roberto Bautista Agut and Henry Laxonen. I'm going to go with Bautista Agut in 4. Casper Ruud and Camille Matchstrick. I'm going to go with Ruud in 4 sets. Laszlo Deri and Miomir Kekmanovic. I'm going to go Kekmanovic in 4 sets. And Pablo Andujar and Federico Del Bonis, they're in the 5th set. I'm going to say Andujar pulls away there. About to get underway, 27-seeded Fabio Fognini and Marton Fuskevitz. Let's see if FanDuel has odds for now. They have outrights, but they don't have... Oh, no, they do have live. I'm going to go with the Fognini for that one. He's minus 124. Marton Fuskevitz is plus 106. I'm going to say Fognini 3-1 at plus 360. Next up, you have at 825, Philip Krajinovic and John Isner. Isner's your 31 seed. Krajinovic is a favorite at minus 134. Isner's plus 118. Let's go Isner 3-2, plus 490. 9 o'clock, 5-seeded Stefano Tsitsipas and Pedro Martinez. Tsitsipas is a minus 4,500. Pedro Martinez is 18-1. I'm going to go Tsitsipas 3-0 at minus 250. 9:15. 32-seeded Riley Opelka and Jaume Munar. Opelka's minus 138. Munar's plus 118. For the pick, I'm going to go Opelka 3-1. That is plus 350. Next up, 9:30. Guido Pella and Marcos Giron. Pella's minus 205. Giron's plus 174. Set betting, I'm going to go Payla 3-1 plus 310. That's the favorite outcome. 10-10, 22-seeded Christian Garin and Mackenzie McDonald. Garin's minus 410, McDonald's plus 310. Set betting, I'm going to go Garin 3-0. That is the favorite outcome at plus 145. 11 o'clock, you have 12-seeded Pablo Carreno Busta and Enzo Kucod. Carreno Busta is minus 3,000. Kucod 16-1. Carreno Busta 3-0 is minus 250. That'd be my pick. Steve Johnson and Thiago Monteiro at 11:15. Monteiro's minus 630. Steve Johnson's plus 450. Monteiro 3-1 would be my pick. That would be plus 240. Last but not least for the men's today, 3 o'clock. Daniil Medvedev against Tommy Paul. Medvedev's a ridiculous favorite, minus 375. And I mean ridiculous as in underpriced. Tommy Paul's plus 290. Medvedev 3-0 is plus 150. That's the move. Alrighty, now we'll recap the women's from yesterday and look ahead to today's second round. So first round, Solane Stevens over Carlos Suarez Navarro in 3 sets. 9-seeded Carolina Pliskova over Donna Vecek in 2 sets. 18-seeded Carolina Muchova over Andrea Petkovic in 3 sets. 24-seeded Coco Gauff over Alexandra Krunic in 2 sets. Varvara Lipchenko over Zhang Suhei in 2 sets. 32-seeded Ekaterina Alexandrova over Venus Williams in 2 sets. Magda Linette over Chloe Paquette in 2 sets. 30-seeded Annette Kontaveit over Viktorija Golubic in 3 sets. Wang Qiang over Hisai Sui in 3 sets. Kristina Mladenovic over Anna Karolina Shmailova in 2 sets. 1-seeded Ashley Barty over Bernarda Pera in 3 sets. Barbara Krejcikova over Kristina Pliskova in 3 sets. 5-seeded Alina Civiltina over O'Shane Babel in 2 sets. Jasmine Paolini over Stephanie Vogel in 2 sets. 17-seeded Maria Sakkari over Katerina Savatsaka in 2 sets. 25-seeded Ons Jabeur over Yulia Punitseva in 2 sets. Astra Sharma over Irina Bara in 2 sets. Fiona Ferro over Liang and Suho in 3 sets. Ann Lee over Margarita Gaspirin in 2 sets. And last but not least, 13-seeded Jennifer Brady over Anastasia Sevastova in 2 sets. All right. A couple final right now. We had a walkover. Anna Bogdan over Naomi Osaka because Osaka withdrew. We talked about that in News and Notes yesterday. The finals right now, 20-seeded Marketa Vondrasova over Harmony Tan in 2 sets in the second round. Katerina Siniakova upsets 29-seeded Veronika Kudermetova in 3 sets. Sorana Seresta over Martina Trevisan in 3 sets. Daria Kasatkina over 10-seeded Belinda Bencic in 2 sets. That's a pretty big upset. And Tamara Zinasek over Madison Brangle in 2 sets. Going on right now is Caroline Garcia and Polina Hercog. Live right now, Hercog's a minus 115 favorite. Caroline Garcia is minus 113. Set betting, I'd go Garcia 2-1 plus 230 would be my pick. Still to come at 8:20, Danielle Collins and Annalena Kalinina. Kalinina's plus 152, Collins is plus 130. I'm going to take Collins straight up plus 130. Paula Badosa and Danka Kovnovic. Badosa's minus 600, Kovnovic's plus 440. Set betting, I'm going to go Badosa 2-0, minus 185. Next up, you got 15-seeded Victoria Azarenka and Clara Tauson. Azarenka's minus 172, Tauson's plus 146. I'm going to go Azarenka 2-0 plus 145. 9:30, 23-seeded Madison Keys and Layla Annie Fernandez. Keys is a dog, plus 124. Layla Fernandez is minus 146. I'm just going to take Madison Keys straight up plus 124. 10 o'clock, 7-seeded Serena Williams and Mihaela Buzarnescu. Serena's minus 630. Buzarnescu's plus 450. I'm going to go Serena 2-0. That is minus 200. Next up at 10:25, 31-seeded Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova and Aja Tomljanovic. Pavlyuchenkova is minus 172. Tomljanovic is plus 140. I'm going to say Pavlyuchenkova 2-1. That is plus 270. $11 you have 3-seeded Ariana Sabalenka and Alexandra Sasnovic. Sabalenka's 1,800, minus 1,800. Sasnovic is plus 920. Sabalenka 2-0 is minus 410. And last but not least, at 12 o'clock you have 21-seeded Elena Rybakina and Nayo Hibino. Rybakina is minus 720. Hibino's 5-1. Rybakina 2-0 is minus 210. All right, so there you have it for the French Open. Now we'll do news and notes. Some interesting things happening in the last 24 hours. Obviously, Anthony Davis missed Game 5 because of the groin injury against the Suns. Joel Embiid's actually doubtful. But according to DraftKings, he's questionable. And if he's doubtful, then my projected line for this game drops to 11. But it's still bet with Philly. Don't even know that line on FanDuel would really drop. Davies Berton's out 4 to 6 weeks with a grade 2 calf strain, so he's done for the series. Austin Rivers had a very priceless look after Damian Lillard missed last night. And his reaction was just priceless. It trended on Twitter. Fernando Tatis Jr. exits early against the Cubs due to oblique tightness, and they say it's precautionary. Jack Flaherty to the injured list with the left oblique strain. That's a big loss for the Cardinals. The ace of their staff. That's just a huge loss. The Pistons are to hire John Beeline as a director of player development. We'll see how he does in this role. Obviously, he was a failed coach with the Cavaliers. Great coach for Michigan, obviously, but maybe he doesn't want to go back to college. So he decides to join the Pistons as a director of player development. The Lakers want to keep Andre Drummond, as the Lakers have signaled that Drummond is a part of the future moving forward with this franchise. Interesting. Archie Manning talks recruitment as Eli Payton's nephew is the number one 2023 quarterback, obviously, and he says he'll consider places like Virginia and SMU, but recruitment is wide open, in quotes. So one of the top ATH recruits, Keon Saab, released his top schools: Clemson, Oregon, Penn State, Georgia, Texas A&M, LSU. So a good athlete recruit listed out a couple schools. Arik Gilbert lands at Georgia. The former LSU tight end and 5-star recruit says he'll play for the Bulldogs because he wants to be closer to his family. So that's a nice get for Kirby Smart and Georgia. Clint Capella calls out the Knicks as the Hawks big man with bulletin board material says, "We're coming to your home to win this game and send you on vacation." That's not a good omen, Clint Capella. Not a good omen. Whenever you call win, it doesn't work out. And obviously, Julius Randle and Derrick Rose had words to say about that comment. The 49ers are to host Delaney Walker after sitting out last season. Zach Ertz trade talks are quiet. At least 3 tight end teams or team-needy teams have explored a possible Ertz deal, but Philly won't part him for nothing in return. Police said that Marcell Ozuna threatened his wife. And the wife of Braves left fielder Marcell Ozuna told police he threatened to kill her during alleged altercation that led to his arrest. Yikes. Ozuna's in big trouble. I don't think he's going to be playing another game for the Braves. At least. But it says here that he threatened to kill her and she threatened to call 911. The thing read, and then she took his cell phone from the table and called 911, which was the right thing to do, obviously. But holy cow, this story is very scary. Tuukka Rask to play in Game 3 against the Islanders despite nagging injuries. Game 3 will be played tomorrow. The Vezina finalists were announced for the league's best goalie: Marc-Andre Fleury, Philip Grubauer, and Andrei Vasilevsky. Major League Baseball is getting into the NFT game as Lou Gehrig's iconic Luckiest Man speech to be auctioned off as an NFT around July 4th. That's really interesting. And the last one is that LaMarcus Aldridge opens up about his depression post-retirement and says that he's still trying to find himself. Hopefully LaMarcus Aldridge gets well soon because he's a good guy. And his retirement was so unexpected, so hopefully all is well with him. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. I'm looking at an over for today in Major League Baseball. Best bet yesterday was a winner after I took the over 8 in Seattle, Oakland from yesterday. And now the one that I like for tonight is from Camden Yards, over 9.5 between the Twins and the Orioles. So that'll be my best bet tonight. Over 9.5 Twins Orioles. I would consider it Oakland Seattle again, but I think it's more likely this goes over despite a bigger total than the Mariners Oakland game. So over 9.5 between the Orioles and the Twins. Alright, so there you have it for today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping NBA playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs, Major League Baseball. Looking ahead to the games tomorrow as well as the WNBA. News and notes. We'll get into golf. And obviously French Open. Tomorrow night's Jeff Burns for the Belmont. So that should be fun. And I'll have my best bet for you as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.